The whole point of doing research as a medical student is to stand out as a competitive applicant when it comes to applying to residency. And depending on the specialty, the number of research experiences that you need correlates with how competitive a specialty is. In just 5 minutes, I'm going to talk about how to conduct research in medical school. If you know some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about in these sections, feel free to skip around. Let's get right into this, but first, if you're new, definitely consider subscribing. All right, so in undergrad, you may have done benchtop research. Now, benchtop research isn't necessarily useless per se. You learn hypothesis testing, data collection, and just essentially the principles of the scientific method in a practical context. Those foundations actually do matter, but in medical school, things change drastically when it comes to doing the actual research component. As a medical student, you need at least one research experience. According to the NRMP Charting Outcomes, matched USMD seniors average about 3 to 4 research experiences, and DO seniors average closer to 2 to 3 research experiences. But here's the part that people don't talk about. Applicants who didn't match actually reported more research than the average. So doing more research doesn't necessarily mean that you're more competitive. Just because you have way more research experiences, it doesn't guarantee the fact that you'll match into residency. The real issue though is medical school is pretty demanding. It's already an overwhelming environment. You have all these classes that you have to do. You have all these leadership experiences that you need to do, volunteering, whatever extracurricular activities, along with the demands of your classes. In addition to all that, research is going to be yet another thing that you have to pursue. You're learning an insane amount of volume, preparing for an exam, maybe even a rotation, and you definitely want to have that semblance of a work-life balance. And unless you're at a major academic center, there's not really a hands-on roadmap for how to do research. So students will either, one, not do research at all because they have this preconceived notion that research has to be complicated or complex and groundbreaking, or two, start 1 or 2 long-winded projects and ultimately commit to massive projects that never get finished or published. Neither of those mindsets will actually help you for your residency application. Here's what the NRMP data actually shows. It's not about the number of research experiences, which I kind of mentioned before. Programs actually just care more so about the productivity. How you can follow through with the research projects and the outcomes that you have ultimately generated in your projects. Matched MD seniors average around 10 publications or presentations, while DO seniors average around closer to 4. You honestly have to be a finisher. That's why clinical research is king. So I'm talking about like case reports, case series, retrospective analyses, systematic reviews. These are high yield, realistic, and residency friendly projects that you can pursue that will actually garner a lot of attention and allow you to be more exposed to the specialty that you're interested in applying to. Good medical students research in a narrow scope. They're answerable in months and not years, and they're ready for publishing, and they're able to present their work at conferences, both nationally and internationally. If you can finish projects with this mindset, you'll be better able to produce quality scholarly work. One well-designed case report that gets published is way more beneficial than a half-finished project that never leaves your hard drive. And the NRMP data supports this. Research quality alone doesn't predict matching. Completion of those projects does. That means that your first priority is you're going to want to be with someone who publishes consistently, works with students, and actually responds to emails. Residents and fellows are actually pretty helpful in this case, and not so much big-name attendings, because they're the ones who are really looking for case reports and other things that are worthy of studying. And if you're on rotations as a third-year medical student or beyond, definitely asking if there are any projects that medical students can help with can go a long way. So how much research do you actually need? It really depends on the specialty. If you're going into primary care, few projects are okay. You obviously don't want to go too overboard, especially if you're not that much interested in doing research. And you can include case reports as well. If you're interested in applying to a mid-competitive specialty, steady longitudinal research can actually help with that. But highly competitive specialties, research is a big part of your application and just what you do majorly throughout medical school. But across all specialties, the same general principle applies. And I want you to highlight, underscore, and circle this point in your notes. A few completed projects definitely surpasses a lot of unfinished projects. Cannot stress that enough. So final thoughts, start early, keep your project simple, and finish what you start. The match data makes that pretty clear. Research is about demonstrating reliability and productivity, and not really having academic programs or academic centers just sponsor your work. If this video helped, please consider liking the video, subscribing, and comment what specialty that you're interested in. I can produce even more videos that break down how much research you really need for certain specialties, or any other advice that you might want to hear about. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace.